Welcome to the worst with Chad Austin. We are doing a solo episode again today, and it's not because I don't have friends this time. It's just because I didn't want to talk to any of them. Um, it's been a long couple weeks. I really, honestly, I've been such a fucking zombie lately. It's been like 70-hour work weeks, and then I've literally just been going to work at like 8 in the morning, getting off at like 10 p.m., 10:30, going home, watching a little bit of TV, and going to bed, waking up and doing the exact same thing. And it's nice to be in here and giving myself a little bit of break from hell. Basically, it's a lot. It's too much. And also I just want to say I've been wearing this sweatshirt for 2 weeks. And I've really just been wanting somebody to invite me to a brunch or like a drag race viewing party or something. And it's not working out, man. I mean, I want to go do gay things. That's why I'm wearing the sweatshirt. Invite me, man. I'm all for it. Also, the thing that I've been doing late at night is I've been watching, right when I get home, I'll smoke a little bit of weed, get in my head for a little bit too long, freak out about my life, and then once I'm coming down from freaking out about my life, I put on 60 Days In, and I just recently discovered this show, and I've always been a fan of like prison shows because honestly, up until I met my wife and got my shit together, I thought that's where I was going to end up, but dude. All the prison shows that I was watching before, it's just like, lockdown. So it's just, prisoners talking to the camera and, you get some kind of quirky thing. Like one of my favorite episodes ever of Lockdown was they're interviewing this dude in a cell and he just has stacks. I mean, fucking stacks and stacks of like pats of butter. And they're like, and they look at him and they go, "Hey man, what's the butter for?" And he looks at him and goes, "Man, what you mean the butter for?" He's all, that's for the education of a proclamation and masturbation. So, I mean, there's like little things like that just make me excited about prison. Like, you can really, find your own way in there. And, obviously you can still jerk off as long as you don't piss off your cellmate. If you have your own cell, I mean, that's all I'd be doing, working out and jerking off. I've kind of realized that I am a lazy, well, besides like the whole like work ethic thing, I'm a really lazy person when it comes to like, cause once I've worked like, like a 2 week pay period, and it's like comes out to like 130 hours. And then, so when I'm at home, I don't want to do anything, but I also fucking am so tired of being fat. And I think that like, if I could go to prison, it might be like a really great thing to just get in shape. Food's terrible. And then all you can do is like read a book, jerk off, and work out. Like that's the only thing you could do to pass time. Man, I'm kind of envious, to be honest. So anyways, 60 Days In. If you haven't heard of it, 60 Days In is a show where they take, basically it's like contestants. I don't even know if you really call them that. Participants. And they're all normies. Just your average people that said, hey, I could last 60 days in prison. Well, not prison, jail. I could last 60 days in jail. And so they're like, all right, well, you think you can? Well, we're going to take you there. So they go through the whole thing. They give them a cover story. They kind of give them a little bit of like heads up on what to expect, which is kind of crazy to me because I just felt like everybody watched prison shows, but there was really people there that were like, oh yeah, I had no idea that like if I'm white, I'm not allowed to hang out with black people or this, that, and the other. It's, I guess it's just the element that I hung around. I kind of just already knew all this shit. But so all these people, they get all their stories and then they get taken in one by one, and they don't know for the first 4 seasons, they don't know who the other participants are. They're just all doing it on their own. And, man, there's been a couple things where it's just like, so basically why they're doing this is the prison decided to do this because they want like insight from your average person on how their jail's running. Like, are there drugs being snuck in? Is the gang presence too heavy? And are their correctional officers actually treating these inmates like they should, or are they just treating them like pieces of shit? And you know what? Surprise, they're just treating them like pieces of shit. But the funny thing is there's all this talk about like their psyche, like going into it and all this stuff, and like the mental capacities and all that whatnot. But man, I kind of feel for these inmates, because once you get like 2 or 3 seasons in, and the inmates actually know that there is a show called 60 Days In, because they're allowed to watch TV. They watch TV all fucking day. They're allowed to do it. So once you get in, these people, because most of them don't look like a criminal. They you know, there's no tattoos. They don't have any kind of rough, rugged angle to them. They all look like fucking school teachers and Marines, and you know. So every time, as soon as these people walk in, and I'll give these inmates credit, because they might not be book smart. None of them may be able to fucking read a book, but they're a street smart as fuck. They just look these people up and down. And they go, "That's a cop." And right then and there is when I would turn around and be like, "No, I'm out, dude." I'd give the little fucking signal, and I'd be like, "This guy thinks I'm a cop. I'm going to get stabbed in my sleep. I'm good. I'm so good. I don't need this." And also, I found out that they only get paid $3,000 per episode. That's not that much to go to prison. I mean, and they don't get paid for reruns or anything like that. So it's just like that one-time run. You know, if it, you know, it goes X, Y, and Z, I think it's like somewhere around 15, somewhere around, like, I don't know, you're going to make around like 60, maybe 50 to 60 grand to be on this show. And that's it. But you probably had to quit your job because you're going to be gone for 2 months. So then you have to find a new job, because only a dumb redneck that would want to go to prison would think that $60,000 is going to last them, you know, however long it's going to take. I mean, it's ridiculous. Anyways, so, but all these prisoners, I'm worried about how their psyche gets fucked up, because you're already paranoid and you already have a chip on your shoulder. But now because of this show, you just start thinking that everybody that is walking into this pod that you're living in is a rat or a mole or a plant, as they call them. I mean, that has to fuck with you mentally. That has to like get right up in your head and be, I mean, you just become you become a total fucking psychopath. And I want to know how many just average Joe prisoners, since this show has came out, I want to know how many of them have been just stabbed because they walked into a pod and somebody thought they were a cop on the show 60 Days In, and they're just there for, like, you know, petty theft, or, you know, maybe something silly like, you know, drunk driving and hitting a child. Damn it, I couldn't keep the straight face on that one. Yeah, man, but it's a super fucking fun show, and I really don't want anybody to hit me up and tell me that it's fake, because I know that there's a lot of fake reality shows out there, and I really want this one to be real, because I've invested too much of my time into this shit, and it's like 6 seasons, and I've taken down like 4 of them already. And that's the thing about me, is like when I get into something, I fully fucking commit. I don't choose to watch anything else. I don't take breaks. I just go. And the only time I watch something else is if I get home early enough for work or have a day off to where my child is awake and I have to watch something else, because I'm not going to watch the prison show with her. I'm not gonna force her to watch like these dudes just talking about butt fucking each other and beating each other's asses. Like, it's a little too wild for an 11-year-old. I'm not going to sit there and be like, "Honey, this is how it is in these streets." You know, it's too much, man. Like, I'm all for being honest with your child, but also at the same time, there's certain levels of things where you have to actually come out with saying that. And for instance, I'm going to get back to 60 Days In a second, because I have another thing I want to say about that. But for that just led me onto a tangent. Honesty with your child, right? So my kid... Oh my God. So she's started doing this thing where she came up to me after school one day and she goes, "Dad," she's like, "Can I get a hunya?" And I was like, "What is that? Why are you doing that?" And then just so happens to be a day later, I open up Instagram and there's a post from Barstool Sports with a kid going into like a fast food joint with like an intercom mic, and he goes on the mic and he does the the sex noise. Like, can I get the yeah? Like that one. But she, sweet little innocent angel child of mine, interpret that as just a silly noise. So now, because I don't want to tell her what it actually is yet, because too young for that conversation, I'm letting her continue to say it because I don't want to tell her why she can't say it. And she asks why about fucking everything that she asks why about everything. Why? And it drives me fucking insane. But I don't want this why. So I'm continuing to let her. I mean, the other day we were driving in North Hollywood. She rolls down the window and yells it at a fucking colony of bums. I mean, it's a whole underpass. A whole fucking underpass of bums. And my kid just rolls down the window, and before I can even be like, roll that shit up, she's like, can I get a hanya? And I'm like, no. But at least they're bums, and they don't have the internet. Or, I mean, some of them do nowadays. It's kind of wild. But, yeah, so that, once again, honesty with the child is great, but sometimes you just hold off. There's little things that you just really don't want to talk to them about. Okay, 60 Days In. One more thing about 60 Days In is they get the fucking dumbest people to go on this show. And okay, I'm not going to say the dumbest. They just get I mean, these people just, their reasoning for going on the show is wild. And they all, like, I mean, they all claim that they're trying to do something better, like better the environment, better the world, like better, better the prison system, whatever it may be. But like, I mean, the one that I'm watching right now, it's like season 2, because I'm watching them all out of order because I'm chaotic like that, dog. I don't give a fuck. And I'm watching them out of order. And the one I'm watching right now, this girl's in there, and she just gave birth to a child 3 months ago. Why the fuck would you ever, like, as a parent, why, like, and as a mother especially, because like during your child's formative time, where they still need the titty, they crave the titty, and like, why would you say, you know what, I'm gonna leave my kid with his father. And, my mother, who obviously didn't do a great job because I think it's a good idea to go to prison right now. And I'm going to go for 60 days and just, leave him. And then, of course, like 4 days in, this bitch is already crying. Like, I miss my son so much. You are there by choice. It's an option for you. There are women in there that actually don't have this option. And if they knew that you were in there by choice, leaving your child, holy shit, lady, they wouldn't even they wouldn't even care anymore that you're in there as like a plant. They would probably beat your ass on principle for leaving your kid when you had the option to not. Are you fucking shitting me? And then there's, like, I mean, there's a couple guys that I understand. Like, there's like these Marines that, obviously it's just, bravado. It's bravado that tells them that they can do 60 days and it doesn't matter. But I'll tell you what, there's this one guy, and I'm sorry if I'm ruining this for anybody that hasn't seen it, but fuck it, it's a reality show. It's, there's one guy who's a Marine, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, blah blah blah. He doesn't even make it into the jail. He gets into like what are they booking, and they put him in like a temporary cell while they like are transferring him into the actual pod, and he breaks down sobbing like a little bitch, and he throws in the towel before he even makes it in. And I mean, there's just so much good. I mean, if you have not seen the show, I cannot recommend it enough. And don't do any research. Go in there believing that everything's real, because it makes it so much more fun. I haven't looked. The only thing I've looked up on that show is to find out how much they make per episode. Other than that, I refuse to look it up to find out if like they're planted into like the softest jail ever, and these guys are all kittens and shit. But yeah, man, this whole first 15 minutes has been an advertisement for A&E's 60 Days In. I'm not getting paid, but I would like to. Okay, let's move on. 60 Days In is great, but I got other things I want to talk about. All right, so this one's fun. And I feel like I'm going to play it right now just so the timing is going to be right when my man's here puts it inside for you. But puts it inside. There's a little context. TMZ is where I find all my fucking favorite news. TMZ, a Texas mom has a furious rant about anal sex during a COVID school board meeting. Oh, beautiful. It's right there on the screen. I love this place. So, I mean, there's really nothing we can do except for play this and laugh at it. Can we play it up here? So, okay. All right. Well, let's just play it. And I want to, because this lady is so fucking crazy. First of all, it's why? Why would you ever do this to your child? All
right, well,
I understand
that y'all don't have the
that
ability to make
there's this like need to,
I was going to talk about
I don't know, protect your kid.
School, but I was sidetracked by,
but
for the boy,
holy shit, man!
Pussy,
like,
or the idea of pussy, or the idea of pussy.
So
a Mexican is a Mexican is a Mexican. Take her out back, we boys figured, then hand on the titties. Put it in her coin box, put it in her cornhole, grab a hold of that braid, rub that calico.
Okay.
You can find that on page 39.
She is quoting from a book that the kids can actually read in it's in their library at their school. It's a school in Texas. And so this first section is her just quoting an exact paragraph, sentence, couple sentences from this book where it's pussy, 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 put it in her cornhole. And then she proceeds to go on and say that she had to she thought that cornhole was just a game that she had in her backyard. And then she had to Wikipedia. She had to Wikipedia what cornhole was, and then she gives a little history lesson on the word cornhole, where in the 1910s it was slang for your shitter, and then in the 1930s it became slang for getting fucked in the ass. So then she continues to go on about how. So, Out of Darkness is the book, and she does her whole thing, and then she starts talking about.
The term came into the use in the 1910s in the United States as verb form to cornhole, which came into usage in the 1930s.
So
to have anal sex. I do not want my children to learn
keeps
about
on repeating anal sex until they cut her mic.
School. I have never had anal sex. I don't want to have anal sex. I don't want my kids having anal sex. I want you to start focusing on education and not public health.
Stone, you're on.
Okay. So, first of all, I can't even imagine now that this video has circulated on the internet. I mean, it's been picked up by everybody, like TMZ is like, biggest entertainment news. And her children, who are in middle school, they're old enough to like, be on social media and do all this stuff. So now that they've seen their mother on the internet ranting like a lunatic. I mean, she does the whole thing where she like pulls up her glasses and she gets down in the mic and gets in their face, trying to like basically like the whole dominance over this subject. And then also, I don't think at age, like what, middle school is like, yeah, my daughter's in middle school, age 11, 12, 13. I don't think that at that age, really not at any age, unless you're a very open family, do you want to know if, I don't even want to know if my mom's been fucked in the butt. Yeah, still to this day, I'm 35. Don't want to know. So she lets her kids know that she hasn't been. But, maybe it's different with kids nowadays because, like, there's a whole culture behind eating ass and ass play and all this stuff. So maybe they'll just think of their mom as a very uncool lady because she hasn't taken a D in the B. But, dude, shout out to this lady because she is just full of vinegar and vengeance today. And, she got her point across. She doesn't do anal. She doesn't want to do anal. She doesn't want her kids to hear about anal. This has been the news with Chad Austin. Okay. Now that we're done with her, a news story popped up the other day on my Twitter feed, and it was so silly that I had to open it. It was a clickbait article, 100% a clickbait article. It says, McDonald's CEO finally tells the truth about what Grimace is. Now, I don't think that anybody has ever really questioned what Grimace was. We know that, like, the Hamburglar, it looks kind of like the Mad TV face with a little bit more of like a pedo vibe. And then Ronald McDonald, he's a fucking clown. And who else was there? But Grimace was just a big purple blob, kind of shaped like a butt plug. And I mean, for the most part, everybody I've asked this question to, since I read this article, has said, "Oh, I thought he was just like a weird alien." In fact, I asked somebody today, and the answer was, "Oh, I thought he was just some kind of alien." No, McDonald's CEO has brought out the truth, and the truth is that Grimace is a taste bud. Now, I've never like fully examined my taste buds, but I'm pretty sure they're not purple. And I don't know, maybe under a microscope they are. Maybe McDonald's has done more research into this case than I have. But by just eye view of looking at my tongue on the rare occasion when I've maybe possibly been on acid and staring in the mirror and looking at my tongue, it never looks purple. And I want to believe that he's fucking with us. I want to believe that like it's just another way to get attention. Not that McDonald's doesn't have enough attention already, but that this is a way to get people talking about McDonald's, because I'm doing it right now. Why the fuck is Grimace a taste bud? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I just wanted to bring it up because I find it to be really fucking weird. I don't have a premise. I don't have anything I want to go around. I just really think it's fucked up that they said that he was a taste bud. That's all I got on that. Fuck. Okay. AOC. AOC just recently went to the Met Gala. Now, if you don't know what the Met Gala is and you've been living under a rock for the past, I don't know how many years it's been going on, the Met Gala happens every year, and it's a big event where a bunch of elite celebrities, probably most of which have been to Epstein Island in the heyday too. Not now. No one cares about going now. It was back in the day when, you know, they can get away with fucking kids and drinking their blood. So most of these people have done that, and they all wear the most outlandish outfit they can find. Like, you know, we've seen everything from, like, people wearing like draped bacon and, you know, saran wrap and caution tape and then just like funky ass dresses that don't make sense in their shape, and I don't know, so it's just all to look wild. And then there's a couple people that are like too cool for it, and they wear sweatpants and shit and whatever. They're still paying the money to be there. AOC, who's like this fucking woke Democratic hero, and I'm just gonna be honest, I don't fucking like her. I know like in my bartender community of friends that this will probably get me in trouble and they'll all hate me for this because everybody is so far up her fucking cooch. And the only reason, and let me just point this out, the only reason that you give a flying fuck about who she is that she used to be a bartender. So in your head, by her being a politician now and, you know, speaking in the White House and doing all this stuff, in your head, you're making your job feel more important. No. Her job is more important. You're still just a bartender. Just like me. We're bartenders. We didn't go on to, you know, be in the Senate and do all this shit and whatever she does, Congresswoman, I don't care. We didn't do that. She did it. She's not doing a very good job at it, in my opinion. Now, she goes to this Met Gala, and she is wearing a white dress that, you know, for the Met Gala seems very basic. I guess it's just a white dress, right? And then she turns around to take a photo, and the back of the dress says, "Tax the rich." Now, let's unpack this for a second. A politician whose salary puts them in the upper class, wearing a dress that says tax the rich at the Met Gala, where it costs $35,000 for a plate of dinner there. And your designer dress probably cost more than, I don't know, some people make in a year. It's just wild to me that people will still, like, that to me is some of the most, like, wildly absurd virtue signaling I've ever seen. Like, you're gonna go to the most elite, like that people like, there's celebrities that die to get invited to this thing and they don't, and you're going to go to the most elite fucking social gathering of the season, the Met Gala, and you're going to try to virtue signal that, like, what, like, it's it's almost like she's like that Steve Buscemi gif where she's like, "What's up, fellow teenagers?" Like, she's trying to, like, fit in with us, the normies, when she is dining with the elite. And I fucking hate calling them the elite because, like, what, you were in fucking, what, Fast and the Furious 9 and all of a sudden you're better than me? I don't understand it. Like, how is that a thing? How is that even a fucking... People, and you know, and actually this is going to be great to lead into the next segment, which is stars. They're just like us. These people are just like us. How are they elite? How is anybody there? Like, sure, if you want to call Prime Minister of Canada and the President of the United States and the fucking Queen of England elite, that's fine. I don't care. I don't want to hang out with them anyway. But to call people that, like, I would hopefully one day want to be bros with elite, that's fucked up, man, because it makes me feel like I'm never going to ever get to know these people. Like, I wouldn't mind doing a bump of coke with Harry Styles. Seems like a chill dude. Wears dresses and shit. We can hang. AOC, no. She doesn't seem like a chill dude. She doesn't seem like she'd do a bump of coke with me. Or take a Kappa mushroom. Or anything like that. She'd fucking make me a shitty martini, if anything. Dumb bitch. Anyways. Okay. Stars. They're just like us. So I found this thing, and I guess Us Weekly does this weekly, and it just kind of blew my mind that this is something that people care about enough to read, first and foremost. People, so, I mean, the very first one is insane. Stars, they feed the meter. So a star has to find parking, is what you're saying. They don't magically get spaces that appear for them that are free because they're celebrities. They also have to pay for parking. And so this is something that people just enjoy. I mean, stars, they drink coffee. Double up on caffeine. I drink 8 cups of coffee a day just to get through it and not hate myself. She has 2 cups of coffee. Good for her. Reese Witherspoon, still loving caffeine. Because, you know, this is all they do. They have children and they're going to school. I mean, do you just expect stars to have their fucking maids do everything? Like, I don't even know who that lady was. Like, who is she? Apparently she's somebody, because they're making a big deal about her taking her kid to school. But if you have a child and you're not the one sending them off to their first day of school, you're an asshole and you shouldn't have a child. Who's next? Emma Roberts. Most famous for being Julia Roberts' niece, right? She's fucking nobody. She was in American Horror Story. Big fucking deal. She has a baby now. She's walking her baby. She's actually taking care of her baby. Good for you. It's insane that this is important. Next. Who's that? No, it's not Hugh Jackman. Who's that? Can you scroll down so I can see the name? Brian Austin Green. Holy shit. The guy that wasn't famous, he hasn't been famous since the fucking 90s. He hasn't been famous since 90210, the original version. He buys his own groceries? Of course he does. He can't afford a fucking housekeeper. He's living off residuals from the goddamn 90s. Next. Jeffrey Dean. I don't know who that is. I don't know who he is. But apparently, you know, if you stack rocks in the sand, it's being just like this. I don't go to the beach. You're nothing like me, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Nothing. Next. Tori Spelling, also, Jesus Christ, this is a fucking 90210 reunion. Tori Spelling, who also has not been famous since the 90s for 90210, masks up to go to the store. You mean she's doing what we're fucking mandated to do? In California? Are you fucking kidding me? Dude, she has to do this. The store won't let her inside. Next. Larsa Pippen has huge tits. Next. This lady's playing tennis. Who is it? Oh, it's Lady Gaga. Hey. Lady Gaga. Hey, also, Lady Gaga, I'd hang out with her. She seems rad. And if what I have to do is play tennis, I'll get on the court. I'm hoping to get invited to a concert after wearing the sweatshirt because I know gay people love Lady Gaga. Invite me to a show. Sounds gay, I'm in. Let's do it. All right, next. They eat lunch. They eat lunch. They dine. Go fuck yourself, US Weekly. Who's next? Flea? Is that Flea? It's fucking Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Dude, the amount of times I've seen that man's dick is insane. Dude, I mean, 99% of the time he's on stage, he just lets his shit hang. And, you know, for an older white dude, the guy's got a solid piece. I'm not even going to say anything bad about Flea. Go you and your dick. Next. Dude, there feels like there's so many of these. Emily Ratajkowski. Okay, so this bitch, she drinks a Coke Zero. Or is it a Coke? Yeah, whatever. She drinks Coke. Good for you. You're not... okay. This lady, I remember her. I only know who she is because of a news story that came out that was so fucking insanely woke. She announced that she was pregnant. And then after nobody asked at all, she then stated that she wasn't going to gender her child when it was born. She was going to let it decide later. Your child's going to need therapy. Fuck you, Emily. Next. Kristen Chenoweth. Oh, and she reads a book. I mean, you're not like me. I don't read. I don't know how to read. Next. Carrie Underwood. Now, see, this one I'll fuck with. Carrie Underwood, you fish. You're a rich-ass woman who has no need to do this. Everybody else was doing basic-ass shit that it's running errands for your adult life, right? You go get coffee, then you go to the grocery store, you pick up some fucking lunch afterwards, and then hold your baby. This woman is actually out here living her life, doing her own thing, and fishing. Now, is this fish planted? Possibly. Did she actually fish for it, or did somebody get it for her? I don't know. But if she's doing her own fishing, hanging out on the river, that is, I mean, my guess is that most of who read US Weekly, or is it US Weekly or Us Weekly? Either way, most of the people that read this are probably people like from Hicksville, USA, who don't have the internet, and then they go to the grocery store and they see this on the racks and they pull it off. Now, to see her fishing would really fucking excite somebody, I'm sure. So spot on with this one, Us Weekly. You did something good. I mean, and now we're just getting way too fucking red. Let's cruise through a couple more and then we'll say fuck this, because Robin Thicke on a jet ski, that's nothing like me. I don't have enough money to go out on jet skis. Who's this? Anna, I don't know. And you got food at P.F. Chang's. Good. Like, you like MSG just as much as everybody else. John Mulaney and Olivia Munn. Now, I mean, their shit's wild. Like, he just got out of rehab for just claiming that he's been blowing lines like nobody's business and following it with liters of alcohol. And then the first thing he does is get this bitch knocked up. And now, like, and then it just in the weirdest way possible decides that, 3 weeks after getting to rehab and knocking her up, that he's going to announce it on Jimmy Kimmel Live. And it was just fucking strange to see. But, good for you. You eat onion rings. Okay, we're done with this. Now, fucking David Harbour from Stranger Things gets takeout food. Good for you, David Harbour. Fucking Jesus Christ. So, more coffee. People running. I mean, it's insane. It never ends. You're working out. You're nothing like me. I mean, that guy was just holding a handful of books. He wasn't going to read them. He knew that somebody was taking a photo. That is staged. I want to talk about these fucking people. These two. Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly. Okay, so the VMAs were just recently. I think it was the VMAs. It was one of those, like, young kid popular award shows. And Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker are like an item, right? And then Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox. And all of these people, every single one of them is in their 30s at least. Travis Barker and Kourtney, probably 40s. Why the fuck do you need to, like, full-on make out in public anymore? Why are you doing, like, high school shit? Grow the fuck up. Do that at home. Nobody needs to see that. I don't need you to, like, take photos of, like, your mouth's all the way open and your tongue's touching. I don't need to see that. I don't care about any of you. If you all died in a plane crash, which now I'm wishing that Travis Barker would have after seeing all this shit, it wouldn't matter to me. So fuck you guys. And also, he looks like he's wearing a Klan hoodie if it was white. Okay. I think I had one more thing. What did I have? It's going to be a short one today. But yeah, so I think I have one more thing. Let me just find my notes. It's funny because my notes, I wrote sweatshirt, 60 days in, what is Grimace, stars, anal sex. Amy Schumer had her uterus and appendix removed, and all I have to say about that is we all wish it was her vocal cords. That's it. It's going to be short and sweet for me today. I'm not going to try to drag this out. I thought I had one more thing, and I'm kind of just talking right now to see if I remember it, but I'm not going to. Thank you for watching The Worst, listening to The Worst, and see you next week. I got a couple guests coming up. It'll be fantastic and fun. Bye.